We all know there's a Gemara in Sanhedrin. It was a time of the Churban, Beit HaMikdash. It's a good time to talk about it now. And Eliyahu Navi was walking through the streets of Yerushalayim. And it was a time of Tapuhei Ra'av. Tapuhei Ra'av means a hunger where people were walking around with a tapuach, with a distended stomach. When somebody is dying of hunger, before they die, their stomach bloats, distended stomachs. And it was a time of Tapuhei Ra'av. Eliyahu Navi is walking, and he finds a young boy with a tapuach, with a swollen belly, laying, Gemara says, mutal be'ashpa, laying in a garbage heap. And he can't move, this kid. And Eliyahu Navi comes over to him, and he asks him, what is your name? He tells him. Who is your family? He tells him. He says, is there anybody left? He says, no. Not one family member is left. I am the only one left. I am the only one left. Eliyahu Navi says to him, if I teach you something which will restore your life, will you do it? And the boy says, yes. Eliyahu Navi tells him, I want you every day to say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. What does the boy answer him? Has shelo hiskir b'shem Hashem. Forbid that I will ever say the name of God. Nobody ever taught him. Nobody ever taught him. Picture the scene. A young boy lying in a garbage heap with a tapuach. And then after he tells him, Ha shelo hiskir b'shem Hashem, he took out an avodah zarah and he hugged it and kissed it. At that moment, his stomach split open, he fell, and the idol fell on top of him. Shene'emar, and he died. Shene'emar, v'natati pigrechem al pigre gilulechem. Exactly what the pasuk says happened to him. Is this not an amazing story? A boy has Gilyon Eliyahu, who tells him, I could save your life. All you have to do is say Shema Yisrael. And the boy refuses. And he ends up dying the worst death in a garbage heap with an avodah zarah. End of story. I once heard, it was many years ago, it was Rabbi Waxman, Hashem Yishmerehu. And he told a similar story. Let's compare the stories. He says that there was a woman by the name of Mrs. Miriam Zupnik, known as the Angel of Auschwitz. Meaning to say, in Auschwitz, she risked her life to save other Jewish girls and Jewish women. She wasn't afraid of the Nazis, and she survived the war. After the war, many Jewish children, we all know, were living in Christian monasteries. They were there. This woman gathered them up and brought them to an orphanage in Belgium. This Mrs. Zupnik would put all the young girls to sleep every night. These were orphans. And she would go there, and she would talk to them. She would tell them a bedtime story. She would make sure they were bathed and fed. And she would give them a hug before they went to sleep. And she would ask them to say Shema. And she taught them the Shema. There was one girl who went through the whole thing. She was taken care of. She was bathed. She was clean. She put to bed. Mrs. Zupnik would come and hug her every night. And she would ask her to say Shema. At that moment, every night when she asked her to say Shema, this girl would pull out an avodah zarah that she had from the monastery, and she would kiss it and go to sleep. Never said Shema. This went on for weeks and weeks, till finally one night, the girl says to her, Mrs. Zupnik, right? This is not Hashem. This is not God. She says, right. She took it and tossed it under the bed. And for the first time, she said Shema Yisrael. Question. Eliyahu Hanavi could not get a boy to say Shema, but Mrs. Zupnik could get a girl to say Shema. Eliyahu Hanavi himself, how is it possible? And the answer, Rabotai, is simple. Eliyahu found a child alone, abandoned in a garbage heap. Mutal be'ashba. Even Eliyahu couldn't save him. But this girl was given a lot of love, a comfortable bed, a good meal. Such a situation, you could get a child to throw away Avodah Zarah and say Shema Yisrael. With warmth and love and chizuk and encouragement, we can accomplish so much with our children. We are never to give up on a boy, on a bacher, because he has some difficulties in learning or he can't sit. We all grew up in yeshivas. Some of the boys who are most likely not to succeed today are outstanding Talmidei Chachamim. Why? Because there was a Rebbe that believed in him. There was a Rebbe who helped him along the way. The schar for these Rabbeim, ayin lo ra'ata. No eye will ever see it. Only HaKadosh Baruch